It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So in this video, we're going to look at the search warrant that's been released, that was issued, the application, the affidavit for the search warrant, so that the police could go into Gene Hackman's home after the 911 call. And to be able to enter the premises, of course, the police need a search warrant, even in those circumstances. It's quite, it's not like the telly, is it? Because, how long does it take to get a search warrant? There's two bodies or two people lying in that house, and they have to get a search warrant to go in. I don't know if that's the same, if it would have been reported that one of them was alive, possibly. Whether that would be the same, or would they be allowed to just go in, because I think if it's threat to life, I think they can go in without a search warrant, but I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, in this case, it wasn't like that, was it? The unfortunate man who, the caretaker who phoned in the call, was very distressed, wasn't he? And it seemed clear that at least the lady that he could see was deceased. So a search warrant had to be obtained. So there's a lot more details emerging, and more will, of course, we're waiting for the post-mortem that will reveal the most details, of course, at what happened to Gene Hackman, legendary actor, 95 years old, and his wife, classical pianist, 62 or 63 years old, and one of their dogs. And I just need to tell you, there's some upsetting details, possible details emerging about the dog, that maybe the dog was unable, whereas there were two healthy dogs found, two dogs were found alive. Maybe this dog could not get out of its cage. Was it in a cage, or was it locked in a room? Why did that dog die and the others survive? So hopefully they will do a post-mortem on the dog as well. Whatever's happened in this case, it is, unbearably tragic, really. And other details that are emerging, of course, that there was so far they've not been able to detect any evidence of a gas leak. The lady was found in the bathroom with pills scattered around her. The dog was found in a closet. That's all we really know, so I don't know exactly. And Gene Hackman was found in this mudroom, which a mudroom apparently is somewhere where you go and change your clothes after maybe you've been out walking in the mud or with the dog, and, just like a room to sort of dump your clothes, etc. And maybe changing something else before you go into the house. And other details that are emerging is, so they were all in separate rooms. That's sort of strange in itself, isn't it? For them all to just, looks like they just sort of dropped dead. People don't just drop dead, do they? There's a reason, and that's what the post-mortem, of course, will find out. So apparently Gene Hackman it looked like he had fallen in his tracks. His sunglasses were found next to his body. This is what they're saying, so bear in mind it's all still emerging story. He had literally fallen in his tracks, just like, maybe, as if he'd had a heart attack, or just literally dropped. And then, of course, nothing makes sense, does it, with this event? Because you can see that someone can have a heart attack and just drop in their tracks, especially a man of 95. That's not unusual, is it? But then it's, why was his wife in the bathroom surrounded by these pills? And we don't know what sort of pills they were. And why was the dog then? Because if, you could go to a million scenarios, because it's supposing Gene did die and his wife felt like she could not carry on. Why would she leave the dog to die? Like, nothing makes sense in itself. or they're all like separate incidences that don't combine together. And she was face down, I believe. I don't know. But the other like disturbing thing that's coming out is it seems like they hadn't been seen for 2 weeks. And again, you know, close your ears. They were mummified or partially mummified. So, you know, God, it's just a horrible thought that the whole scenario, this question of whether the door was open or the door was closed, because on the 911 call, the guy who phoned up in great distress said that he couldn't get in, the door was closed, but then the police say the door was open, though apparently it was only slightly open. You know, we're going to have a look at their house in a moment. It's in an area where you probably would leave your door open. It's miles away from anywhere. It's a gated community, I believe. The guy who phoned the 911 was the caretaker. So maybe you would feel safe enough there to leave your doors open. So, yeah. But was it open or was it closed? Or maybe the guy was just so distressed, maybe didn't realise it was open because it was only ajar. Maybe, and he wouldn't have wanted to go in there anyway, and I don't blame him. He shouldn't have gone in there, because just in case it was a crime scene, it's better that he doesn't go in and interfere with the forensic evidence, even though, you know, unwittingly. So it's good that he didn't go in, because then the first people on scene were the police. And that, you know, the bodies, I believe there was a preliminary examination done on the bodies, and it was found that there's no evidence of blunt force trauma, you know, stabbing, gunshot wounds, etc. So now the big job now, of course, is to establish the causes of death. What did happen? And why is there no traces of a gas leak now? Or is it maybe there was a gas escape, a brief one, that is now finished, because it had to be tested before the police went in, I presume, or before the forensics, etc., could go in, because they could have walked in and succumbed in just the same way if it was carbon monoxide poisoning. So this is a real mystery, isn't it, that the police have got to sort out. And not only that they've got to sort out what happened, which of course is important for any death, but this is a high-profile, famous, double Oscar-winning actor that the world is going to be looking to see, you know, what happened. You know, if this was Joe Bloggs at the end of the street, the police would still have to investigate what happened, but they wouldn't have the eyes of the world on them, because there'll be no corner of the world that Gene Hackman is not famous. You know, whatever countries, films will have been translated into all different languages. You know, he was in iconic films. So anyone, not only people of a certain age, but anyone who likes classic films, I know probably a lot of people, younger people, probably don't even know who Gene Hackman is, because he hasn't actually acted in a new film since 2004. But the films he did act in were so iconic. You know, there won't be many people who haven't heard about him, only very young people, I think. So, yeah, so the police have not only got to find out what happened, but they'll be very conscious. They've got the eyes of the whole world on them. You know, this will, I mean, you know, I don't get to watch the news in China or whatever, but I know it's been all over the Spanish news. You know, but this is a high-profile case, and, you know, people are interested because he's a famous person, and that's the way it is. Okay, so first of all, so before we look at it, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at a few pictures of the house itself. We're going to read the search warrant and see what we can glean from that, the application for a search warrant. Okay. But first of all, for anyone who doesn't know me, maybe some of you are watching my channel for the first time. My name's Vicky Marie. I'm based in mainland Spain. I talk about true crime cases or mysterious cases. Yeah, that's me. Thank you for watching. So, Please, before we start, don't forget to like the video, to subscribe, or wait till the end to like, because maybe you don't know if you're going to like it yet or not. If you do like the video, think about subscribing, because then, and press notifications, of course. That's the way that you get notifications of updates on this case or any other case that we're covering. What else do I want to say? Yeah, one special thanks to my members. We had on Thursdays is the members special live. We had a fun time last night, but we were discussing as well, case. We discuss serious matters, but we also have a bit of a laugh, because you do need that, especially if you're interested in true crime. Every now and again, you do need a bit of levity, a bit of, because it can be very sort of traumatic just following it and just reporting on it, watching it. But, we have a bit of a fascination, don't we, with true crime? We're not really sure why. But of course, there's no point in sort of wondering why, really. We are, and that's it. We are interested in true crime. It's, it's I don't know what it is. It's like there's a bit of a morbid fascination, but also a lot of the time, we do care about the victims of crime. We don't know if Gene and his wife and the dog were victims of crime yet, but this is a mysterious story, isn't it? So yeah, think about becoming a member if you want to join in the lives on a Thursday, and I can be a bit more outspoken there on the members live. I've got a video that I'm preparing at the moment about, bogus sort of tribute Facebook groups that, say they're there to do one thing and actually in the end they're doing something completely different. I'm going to release that on members over the weekend. But yeah, there's lots of extra videos there on members and a bit more personal stuff as well. Also, I want to thank anyone who's bought me a coffee, anyone who's sent me a super sticker, PayPal'd me, contributed to my channel in any way. Lots of you emailed me. I've got a bit lost with the emails over the past few days, I've got to be honest. I just got a lot all at once, and I just haven't had a chance, but I always do get to the emails in the end. So don't think I'm ignoring you if I haven't replied. Sometimes I do ignore people if they send me nasty emails, but if you haven't sent me a nasty email and you still haven't received any sort of reply, just be patient with me, because I have lost track of my emails a little bit this week. What else? So yeah, so let's have a look. Oh, I'm going to say hello to everybody. I want to say hello to my lurkers, to those of you that are lurking and watching. Hi. There'll be some of you trolleys watching. Hi. And thank you to, of course, the ones that join into chat that I'm going to say hello to in a moment. And thanks to just those of you just like to watch or are watching on replay crew. Hi, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's say hello to the people that are in chat now. There's quite a few comments going around there. I think people are very interested in this because it's, it's obviously, a famous actor. How can you not be interested? As I say, I'm hoping that there will be, it will mean a re-release maybe on Netflix of Gene Hackman's best films, or all his films, because I'm looking forward to watching them again. Hi Ange, hi David, hi Angel, hi Kelly. Yep, Angel, Ange, at the end of the day, any scenario is possible, isn't it? Things happen, strange things happen. The way that Gene just fell, that they're saying anyway, that he seemed to just fall in his tracks, suggests a heart attack, doesn't it? And yeah, maybe she did go in or if the gas was coming from the bathroom, maybe he's not died of monoxide poisoning, but maybe when she went into the bathroom, or did she trip up over the heater because she was in such a rush? Because there was one of those space heaters, like a plug-in radiator. Did she trip up over the flex and, you know, bang her head. I mean, that'll get discovered, won't it? So if you bang the front of your head as well, that's apparently more dangerous than banging the back of your head. So say she tripped over the flex, fell, the tablets went everywhere, the poor dog stuck in the dog crate or in the mudroom, can't get out, whereas the other two dogs could. So anything's possible, isn't it? I think I said hello to Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, I think the dog, Kelly, may have been in a crate. This is what some people are reporting this morning. So maybe the dog couldn't get out. Hi, Maria. Hi, Bertan. I know the dog just can't. Yeah, and it's a very isolated place. We're going to have a look at the house in a moment. So, yeah, nobody would hear the dogs barking. Or if they did, would they think there was anything strange if the dogs were allowed the run of the property? 2 weeks since they've been seen. So that's a long time, isn't it? Yep, there's a lot of money. Apparently his fortune is, you know, was it 80 million or something? You know, so he's worth a lot of money. I didn't know his first wife has a nearby residential property. I mean, we don't know who phoned so it's the caretaker, wasn't it, that made that 911 call that we listened to last night. We might listen to that one more time before we start, because some people, thank you, someone. Thank you so much. Somebody's bought me a coffee there. Thank you. I just need to get the name. Yeah, so who phoned the janitor or the caretaker? So it's the caretaker that phoned the police, but who then, you know, who phoned the caretaker? Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. Who phoned the caretaker to ask him to go and do a welfare check? You know, we don't know that. They haven't released that yet. Have they? So thank you, Angela. Shall we have a listen to I think the first thing we should do is have a listen to the 911 call, because we listened to it on members last night, but there's people here that maybe aren't members and maybe haven't, and I did release it on a normal video, but just in case you haven't seen or heard, I should say, the 999. I always get mixed up with me 999s and me 911s and me 112s, because in Spain it's 112. But this is a 911 call. Let's see if we can hear, if I can find it easily. I'm sure I can. Okay, let's have a listen to the 911 call. One more time. And you can hear the distress in this guy's voice, definitely.
911, what is it? Emergency.
Hello, my name is the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I'm here about past 10,000 ways. I think we just found one deceased person inside the house. What's the address here? There's no address. I'm going to wait for you at the gate. I'm going to wait for you to please send somebody really quick.
Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on the floor from the window.
Okay.
One more time. That's not the whole 911 call, actually, is it? No, because it was longer than that. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button then. I did press the wrong button then, so I may have clicked off for a minute, but I'm back now. I pressed the wrong the wrong button. Oh God, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Right, I was trying to go back from there. Let's see where we. So yeah, may have gone off for a minute there because I pressed the wrong button and clicked off the live when I was trying to get a better version of the 911 call.
Hello, my name is the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I'm here about past 10,000 waves. I think we just found one deceased person inside a house. What's the address here? There's no address. I'm going to wait for you at the gate. I'm going to wait for you to please send somebody really quick.
Okay, what's going to be the address?
It's going to be down at the gatehouse. I'll meet you over there. I'll meet them over there. I'm the caretaker for the subdivision. I'm going to bring them up here.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me check with the paramedics.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Damn.
Oh.
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at their property. There's no address here. So I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
Okay. How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them late.
Yeah, so he definitely says it's closed, it's locked, I can't go in. But we'll see in a minute when we see the house. It's a massive house, you know. So when the police went, they said the door was ajar, but there's not just one door to this house, no doubt. So, you know, it makes you wonder which house did the police mean that was ajar, whereas this poor guy, he's saying he can't get in. But, you know, he wouldn't have wanted to go in. This woman's mummified on the floor, and he's not going to want to go in, is he? And he doesn't know. He knows these two people live there, so he's presuming that the other person is deceased as well, because otherwise somebody would have rang the police. So, you know, of course he doesn't want to go in there.
Laying down on a floor from the window.
Do they appear to be awake or alert?
No, it's not.
Okay. Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Okay, my units are under.
Yeah, it's like, no, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here, because so far the responder hasn't actually said we've sent it, someone's on their way. So this is something I've definitely picked up from these phone calls. Same with the 999 calls. They should say to them, the very first thing they should say to them is, don't worry, someone's on their way. Then go into the questions. Because otherwise the person's thinking, why the F are you asking me all these questions? And you're not send someone. It's frustrating, but not quite often someone's already on their way, but they don't tell them that, you know. And I honestly, I can imagine at the end of the day, for the responder, this is a job that they probably do 40 hours a week. They probably hear all sorts of calls. They probably get a lot of prank calls, a lot of fake calls, and they will get jaded. But that's why they need training, because probably you start off the job, you can just imagine, can't you? They start off the job, it's like any job, let's be honest. You start off, you're all enthusiastic, it's your new job, you're glad to get a job, you're maybe, enjoy it, feel like you're doing something useful. 6 months go by, a year goes by, 2 years go by, maybe 10 years has gone by since this guy did his initial training and had all the enthusiasm for the job. And they need regular they need monitoring, don't they? Monitoring updates. If every now and again someone listens into one of their calls and says to them, look, you should be doing this or you should be saying that. Just seems to me they're just left to it, you know, and it's a very important job. There's not many jobs more important, because that first contact with a victim often as well, you know, we've heard that, haven't we, about, oh, I've got some videos that I want to do of, you know, people totally ignored by the responders and then ended up being murdered because the responders didn't act quickly enough. So, you know, they have such an important job, and yeah, they might get 200 phone calls that mean nothing, and then one phone call where they literally could save someone's life. So they've got to be sharp for that, haven't they? And the other thing I did think about, the guy, the caretaker, he sounds to me like he's got a bit of an accent. So, you know, he's probably worrying, God, they're going to think I've done something here, because if is he an immigrant? Is he, you know, are his papers in order? You know, there's all those other things to take into consideration when somebody rings the police. Nobody wants to get involved with the police, do they? Nobody enjoys getting involved with the police for various reasons. You know, you don't want to get involved. And also that guy, up to then, he didn't know what happened. He didn't know if he was safe. You know, he did his good job. He didn't go in. Maybe there was still carbon monoxide in there. So, you know, there's all those different things to consider. But I do think the responder is pretty rubbish.
Wait, okay.
I'm sorry?
My units are on their way right now. And
Okay, I'll meet them down at the gatehouse because they might not have the code.
you don't have like the actual address of the house of where this person lives?
I have no idea. There's no address. There's a reason why for that.
Okay.
So, yeah. And
we begin with the death of an absolute legend in Hollywood, Gene Hackman, and his wife, Betsy Arakawa.
Anyway, so, yeah, the assailant might be there waiting, might they? You know, there's all sorts of reasons. And that this property, so let's have a look at this property. It is so isolated. Oh, hi, Daniel. Somebody else. Oh, hi, sheep farmer. It's so isolated. So you would be scared, wouldn't you? Because you're there on this isolated place. You've got two, I don't know if the other two dogs are German Shepherds, but hungry German Shepherds. You know, there's apparently one of the dogs was next to the woman, but you know what? It's horrible to think. I just don't even want to think about what might have been going on there. And the other poor dog that died. You know, this guy is traumatized. He's just found at least one body, and he knows these two people live there, so he's probably presuming there's another body somewhere. And you know, anyway. And the other thing, I think these responders, they need to think. You know, at the end of the day, in today's world, when 911 calls and 999 calls are released, the 999 calls in the UK aren't normally released until after, you know, the inquest or the trial or whatever. Whereas in America, as we can see, the 911 calls are normally released pretty quick because of the Freedom of Information Act. Anyone who requests that 911 call can have it, you know, unless there's thought to be a reason, you know, that they can't. I mean, it's unusual for them not to release 911 calls in America. So maybe responders need to be trained for that as well, you know, and be told, you know, bear in mind that you never know when someone might phone up, because it ends up being like a famous crime, you know, like in Madeline Soto or the Gabby Petito case, or, you know, some crime that sort of grabs the world's attention. So these 911, they need to be, you know, be made mindful of that, in my opinion, that one day that call like this one is going to be played all over the world for people to hear how useless somebody is. But anyway, so let's have a look at the house. And that'll give us, of course, more insight into, you know, what this scene is, if you like, and how. Hang on, let me just. Oh, it's always so hard to find the blooming. Sorry. Right, let me get the photo up first. I have to get the photo up first. Yeah. So, well, this is a picture of Gene and his wife in happier times. But here, so this is the living room. Well, I presume it's, I mean, it's, you can see, I mean, it's a massive house, isn't it? I mean, I've got to be honest, it does look beautiful, but I look at it and I just think, God, got to clean that. I mean, didn't they have a cleaner? You'd think they would have a cleaner, wouldn't you? You know, you'd think they'd have a cleaner, really. And so, how, you know, if they did have a cleaner, was the cleaner, well, it's a good job the cleaner didn't go, or maybe there is no cleaner. I don't know. But when you look at the size of this house, it's, you know, you'd be, I mean, at the end of the day, she was 63, which I know is not that old in today's world, but he was 95. This apparently is the kitchen. Now, I'm sharing these photos were shared by Jennifer Coffindaffer on her X, just to tell you where my sources are. So, and apparently, according to her, this is Gene Hackman's house. So I don't know where she got the photos from. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of doors, a lot of rooms. And that is the house. Now you can see there are a lot of doors there. So, you know, wherever the caretaker was, him saying that he couldn't get into the house, there could easily have been a door, another door that was ajar. And it could be that both the police and the caretaker are accurate in their statements. Maybe the caretaker just looked at the front door, but the police maybe saw that the back door was ajar, you know, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Oh, that is the search warrant that we're going to look at. But first, we'll just look at the. So, yeah. Yeah, big house. You know, so a lot of room for the dogs to roam around, a lot of rooms that they could be in. Is that a bed there or a settee? Don't know if that's a bedroom or what. I don't know. Anyway, big kitchen. A lot of maintenance for that house. Yeah. Oh. So that's the scene. I mean, I'm sure it seems like they were happy there for many, many years. They were private people. They liked their own company. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. I've just got to send a message to someone. So I'm going out for lunch today, so. Oh, right. Oh, I'm probably sharing my messages. I'm sharing my. Am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on. So, yeah. I mean, did they have carers coming in? I mean, to not be seen for 2 weeks, or did people try and contact? Is that, you know, maybe people had been trying to contact them to go in and see them, and you know, and that's what led to, and because they couldn't contact them, or maybe people had been and knocked on the door. But from the sound of what the janitor said, or maybe. Is it because the caretaker could actually get into the grounds? Did other people maybe call there and nobody answered? You know, there's a bell at the front gate, but, you know, there's a way up to the house is a way away from it. could be that people did call there, but they just got no answer. Maybe they did miss appointments, you know, and that was part of the reason why the welfare check or the caretaker was asked to go. You know, these are all details, I suppose, that will come out as we go along. But yeah, a very very nice house, a big house. Okay, so let me just come back to the chat, make sure you're all okay, and then we're going to start looking at this search warrant and see if we can glean anything from the search warrant. Yeah, now they haven't released, have they, Dottie, what the tablets were, but they could have been his heart tablets, couldn't they? I mean, that's a definite possibility. If he collapsed, she ran off to get his heart. Maybe they're those tablets that you put under someone's tongue and it gives them an instant whatever. And then maybe she tripped and fell. You know, that seems to me a logical thing that might have happened. I mean, it's, you know, at the end of the day, strange things happen, you know. And then I think maybe if the dog just couldn't get out, and that's why the dog died, which is sad, because though even 2 weeks, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I don't even want to think about that. So let's have a look at this search warrant. I'm going to see if I can. Yeah. Now, I need to send a message. Sorry, I need to. I'm going to have to stop sharing it a minute while I just send this message. All right, let's go back. Sorry. Oh, real life always gets in the way, doesn't it? Okay, but it's, anyway, never mind. Let's go back. So you should be able to see that now. Let me just check. Okay. So this is the search warrant or the affidavit, or what is the affidavit for a search warrant in the state of New Mexico in the Magistrates Court in the county of Santa Fe. So in the matter to the issuance of a search warrant in regard to a 2-story residence that has olive green coloured stucco, there is a flagstone near the front entrance of the residence. The front door is facing southeast. The door appears to be a grand entry with glass windows and black metal frame. The stucco to the right of the front entry northeast side is pink in colour and then transitions to a tan in colour stucco. The residence is identified as 1425 Old Sunset Trail, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87501. The residence is located in Santa Fe County, would that be? State of New Mexico. And the affidavit for search warrant, your affiant Detective Roy Arndt, being duly sworn, is a peace officer, blah, de, blah, de, blah. I don't think we need to. So then we've got they're giving the address, which, I'm surprised they've released this with the address on, but anyway. I won't read the address out. I think we'll move that. But anyway, but that this address could contain evidence that will assist law enforcement in determining the circumstances pertaining to the death investigation of Eugene Jean Allen Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. And then it goes on to talk about the items to be seized or collected. Ignitable, flammable, explosive and or combustible substances, whether solid, liquid and or gas and or any containers and or materials that may contain said substances and may have said substances on them. Materials apparently used and or intended for use in administering aid and or assistance to injured people. Any documents which have what appears to be the personal identifying information of Eugene Jean Allen Hackman or Betsy Arakawa on it, and or any version of Eugene Jean Allen Hackman or Betsy Arakawa's name and or personal identifying information. Narcotics and or any other controlled substances, including but not limited to any drug or substance listed in Schedules 1 through 5 of the Controlled Substance Act or regulations adopted thereto. Documentation of the herein described premises, persons, and the herein described items to be seized by means of measurement, photography, videography, and or any other means deemed necessary by law enforcement and or persons assisting law enforcement. Cameras, video cameras, film, whether exposed or unexposed, photographic negatives, photographs, photographic prints, DVRs, and or any any other images documented on any media, photography and or videography equipment, photography and or videography accessories, and any devices apparently used to facilitate photography and or videography. Clothing belonging to or worn by Eugene Jean Allen Hackman or Betsy Arakawa. Photographs of the residence, including interior and exterior. Latent and or visible prints, including but not limited to fingerprints and footwear impressions. So, you know, it's awful, really, isn't it? Because if you think about your own house, imagine people coming in after you're deceased and going through your house, through all your personal possessions. You know, I mean, not that you'd have anything illegal in there necessarily, but embarrassing things, personal things. You know, you have got personal things in your house. There's nobody who hasn't, I don't think. But although I have, you know, I think I'm going to start just throwing a lot. I keep things. I'm a bit of a sentimental person. I don't keep possessions. I'm not like that. I'm quite like throwing things away. But for sentimental things, you know, letters. God, I've got photos of ex-boyfriends going back years. Maybe I need to put them all on a video and show it to my members, and then chuck them all in the bin and set fire to them. But yeah, I've got letters, I've got Valentine's cards, I've got, you know, things like that. But they're not, there's nothing, you know, awful in them. But you wouldn't really want a person who doesn't know you. And you know, in this case, of course, because this is a suspicious death. And because of the Freedom of Information Act in America, you know, nearly anyone will be able to look at all your things. That's not very nice, is it, really? It's different if you've committed a crime. I mean, for people who've committed a crime like Stephen Stearns or any other twonk that's done horrible things, that's different. They deserve to be sort of shown up all over the internet. But you know, not if somebody, you know, just happened that they've died in mysterious circumstances. But we've got to wait and see what these circumstances are, And because he's famous as well, of course, that's the reason, isn't it, as well? So with Matthew Perry, with Liam Payne there, everything gets dragged out. And, it's so inescapable in a way. So it's like the price of fame, which is, the price for wanting to be famous, which everybody, these people want to be famous, but they don't want everything dragged through the public galleries, do they? But it's like a price that you pay, isn't it? You can't take the good without the bad. You can't say, oh yeah, I just want to be famous on a Tuesday and a Thursday, when I've got all my makeup on and when I've got, I'm dressed up and I go out, like whatever. You're famous every day, once you become famous, like someone like Gene Hackman. And the more reclusive he was at the end, the more the paparazzi, and it is the paparazzi in the mainstream media that go out and take these photos, etc. The more reclusive someone is, the more they want to take photos, isn't it? The more personal things they want to find out. I mean, I think there's stricter laws in place now than there used to be, but they go through people's bins. It's that shouldn't be allowed, should it? I mean, there are some things. I do believe that if you're famous, you do have to pay a bit of a price for fame, but there's got to be limits. Anyway, I'm digressing. So where are we? So materials apparently used and/or intended for use in administering aid or of assistance to injured people. I think it's quite likely that Betsy ran in to get his tablets if he collapsed there. The question is, what happened to her then? Did she trip over? Because don't you think it's funny them mentioning that space heater? Because it's quite a common thing that somebody would have in a bathroom, wouldn't it? I've got one in my bathroom. If you're living in a place that's hot, a lot of the times of the year, like here in Spain, you don't have central heating, tend to have, that kind of thing. You just have little plug-in heaters because you only need them every now and again. Did she trip over it in her rush? Anyway, any weapons, tools and/or instruments capable of causing sharp force trauma to the human body, though there was no obvious evidence of sharp force trauma, but that will come up in the post-mortem. Documents that establish or tend to establish ownership, possession, use, transfer, and/or the right to ownership, possession, use, and/or transfer of the herein described items to be seized. Any weapons, tools, and/or instruments capable of causing blunt force trauma to the human body. Documents that establish or tend to establish ownership, possession, use, transfer, and the right to ownership, possession, use, and transfer of the herein described items to be seized. So this is a pretty comprehensive search warrant, isn't it? Any items and/or materials that have what appear to be impressions, marks, or defects on the said items and/or materials. Any record documented in any media which appears to be password, personal identification number, items and/or information used to access and/or facilitate access of said items is to be searched. Biological fluids to include DNA, blood or trace evidence, telephones and/or cellular telephones, and in order to ensure that a complete and thorough investigation, investigators may be required to examine the entire above-mentioned premises, including but not limited to the examination of furniture, walls, plumbing equipment, or gas lines in or around the residence. So yeah, they're definitely checking out. So far they haven't found any evidence. They haven't found any evidence of gas leaks. So yeah. Yeah. both of them, can I just say, both of them, just looking through what you're saying in the chat, it is tragic and gruesome, Maria, I agree. But both of them were mummified, though, I just want to say. Wasn't only her, he was as well. And they were in separate rooms. So that's something as well. You know, it seems strange that the tablets were scattered around. Because even if she unalived herself, wouldn't she have gone to bed and done it? Lay on the bed and taken the tablets? Seems to me that if they're scattered around, she may have tripped up over that heater. Now, somebody was saying there, a space heater, I think, is a heater that heats any space. Maybe they're not allowed in bathrooms, but, you know, I'm not being funny, but I've got one in my bathroom. Because you do just about an hour before you're going for a shower, just put it on because it's bloody freezing at the moment to go. It's freezing in the bathrooms. You know, but mine is up against the wall. So you couldn't trip over the flex because although it's not attached to the wall, it's a plug-in one, but it's literally against the wall. No, I think they were both mummified, Marie. They were in the same state. That's what I've read. They were in the same state. So, yeah, no, I think they both were. But anyway, I'll have a check of that in a minute. You could be right. Let's just go back to that. Where am I? So, and what else does it say? So the facts tending to establish the foregoing grounds for the issuance of a search warrant are as follows. So it just says he's a full-time certified peace officer and he's conducted various, that's just information about him really. The statement of facts. At approximately 1:43 p.m. on Wednesday, February the 26th, Santa Fe Regional Emergency Communications Center received a call for service regarding a reporting party locating two deceased individuals inside the residence of 1425 Old Sunset Trail, Santa Fe, etc. So, patrol deputies Javier Barron and Joshua Thomas were then dispatched to location to conduct a death investigation. When Deputy Thomas and Barron arrived, Deputy Thomas indicated he spoke to two individuals, one of which was the reporting party who found and located the front door of the residence. Located the front door of the residence to be opened ajar. So they're definitely stating, the police are saying that the door was open or ajar. Deputy Thomas identified the reporting party to be a male named, I don't think he should be named, but anyway, he works as maintenance worker for a company called Home Company, and the other maintenance worker was identified as whoever. Deputy Thomas told the affiant after speaking to the two males, he and Deputy Barron then walked up to the front door of the residence and found the front door ajar. And he advised he did not observe any signs of forced entry into the home. After he entered the residence, he immediately observed a bathroom to the left of the front door. The door to the bathroom was opened. Deputy Thomas advised he observed a deceased female lying on the ground near the countertop. Inside the bathroom, the female was observed lying on her right side. So she wasn't lying on her face then, she was lying on her right side. He advised she was found wearing dark grey sweatpants and a light in-colour sweatshirt. The female was observed to have black coloured hair. Deputy Thomas advised he observed a black in-colour space heater near the female's head. I mean, did she crack her head on the heater if she tripped up? He advised he suspected the heater could have fallen in the event of the female abruptly fell to the ground. He advised he also observed an orange prescription bottle on the countertop near the deceased female. The prescription bottle appeared opened with pills scattered on the countertop. Deputy Thomas advised the female decedent showed obvious signs of death and body decomposition, bloating in her face and mummification in both hands and feet. So, that sounds like, it's quite a long time for that to happen, is it? It's not a few days anyway, let's put it this way. The affiant learned that Deputy Thomas and Barron continued to search the residence when they then observed or found a deceased brown in colour German Shepherd canine. The deceased canine was located 10 to 15 feet from the deceased female in a closet of the bathroom. As they proceeded to clear the other portions of the residence, they observed a pair of feet and legs on the ground near the kitchen area. Deputy Thomas identified a male to be deceased in an area of the home he believed to be a mudroom. The deceased male, who was found wearing grey sweatpants, a blue in colour long-sleeve t-shirt, brown slippers and a walking cane. And Deputy Thomas indicated he observed a pair of sunglasses located near the decedent's left of his body, and based on his training and experience, he suspected the male individual had suddenly fallen. And he advised the male decedent also showed obvious signs of death, similar and consistent with the female decedent. So that's the answer to that question we had earlier. They both were in a similar state. So it seems like they both died at the same time. So was this like, a sudden heart attack followed by an accident for his wife? Did she trip? Did she slip? You go running into the bathroom. It's easy to slip, isn't it? Most accidents happen in the home. I mean, that is a fact, isn't it? As much as you feel safe at home, you're more likely to have an accident in the house than you are outside the house. Deputy Thomas advised there were 2 other dogs located on the property. He advised one of the healthy dogs was initially observed near the deceased female inside the bathroom, and the other healthy dog was observed outside the residence. And Deputy Thomas advised that he and Barron searched the remainder of the property and found all other buildings and the garage to be locked and secured. Deputy Thomas again advised he did not observe any signs of forced entry into the residence. He indicated he did not observe any indication the residence had been rummaged through or items were taken from inside the residence. He advised, based on his training and experience, nothing appeared to be out of place while clearing the residence. And Deputy Thomas indicated he asked Roland and Jessie when the last had contact with the homeowners, and they both advised it was approximately 2 weeks prior. So yeah, there's confirmation again, 2 weeks since that we know that they were seen. Both individuals advised they rarely saw the owners of the residence when conducting routine maintenance on the home. Both indicated they maintained contact with the homeowners through text message and phone calls, and primarily communicated with the female homeowner, identified the deceased female as Betsy Arakawa. These 2 males identified Betsy's husband and Gene Hackman, or Eugene Allen Hackman, however, did not positively identify him as the deceased male. At this time, the male's true identity is known until further investigative research can be made or conducted. So yeah, they're not relatives of his, so they can't positively identify him anyway, I don't believe. But yeah, he'll be identified through the post-mortem, I suppose, and tests. Deputy Thomas and Detective Joe Cannell advised Santa Fe City Fire Department responded to the location and conducted testing. So this is what's led to the thought that there's enough evidence to suggest an investigation is needed, because the first thing they did was determine if there were signs of a possible carbon monoxide leak or poisoning. But he advised the fire department that they did not locate signs of a carbon monoxide leak or poisoning. Those firefighters were identified as Captain Daniel Laranga, firefighter Adrian Perea, and engineer firefighter Anthony Raffliff. So, I need to hang on. I've just got to have a little drink. Got to wet my whistle, as my dad. All this talking. Maria, I think, look, we're here and we are speculating, and I think, we can't feel bad about speculating, because at the end of the day, this is a mystery, and this is a public figure. But even if it wasn't, it's like, I hope, we're not speculating for a bad reason. We want to me, I don't want to feel that any foul play from either of them, not only from the outside, took place here. If Gene Hackman had a sudden heart attack, that, at the age of 95, that's a very quick way of going without any suffering. The problem is then what happened to his wife and what happened to the dog. You feel like that's likely to be more suffering involved, if any. Hopefully not. But it is, I think, what sort of intrigues everyone about this, apart from the fact, as I said, that he is a famous actor, it's just the thought that these things happen. Accidents happen, mysterious things happen. It's like you never know the moment. Is your fate predestined, if you like? He's got to the age of 95 years old and had a good life, a long life, well lived. He did what he wanted to do in his profession. He won 2 Oscars. He wrote books. He seemed to live quite happily with both his wives, because even his first wife, he was married for 30 years. So, I'm sure that was a long marriage. And then he met this wife. And, it seems like they've had lot of long, happy years together. But so just ironic, isn't it, how things can just happen in an instant? Your life can change in a moment, and if you're anything like me, because I'm scared of flying and things like that, and sometimes you just feel safer at home, don't you? But you're actually not. You've got to hope. You just don't know what's going to happen. So really, you should just live your life and go out and do all the things you want to do and not worry about them, because you could just be at home and you could trip over a bloody flex. God, I nearly back. Those of you who watch my channel regularly, you'll remember that there was an incident in my house a few months ago where my son was trying to get past. It's a bit of a long story. It's about the dogs. We have to keep our dogs separate because they don't get on. And our German Shepherd had got out of the room where she was, and she'd come downstairs and she was going for one of my dogs. She would have probably, literally bit his head off, because she hates him with a passion for some unknown reason. She's a very jealous dog. And my son was pushing past me to get to the dogs to stop, anything happening. Pushed me out of the way, and I just went flying. And I just remember the floor coming up to hit me and thinking, God, and I did move my head out of the way, and I put my shoulder there. Anyway, it damaged my shoulder, but it would have been much worse if I would have cracked my head, So these things happen, and they can happen in an instant. 1 minute everything was fine, the next minute this dog cook gets out the room and it's like bedlam. So this is what I'm trying to say. So I'm hoping in a way there is something like that, because don't want it to be foul play. I don't want it to be anything he's done to her or she's done to him, or they've, it'll be just an accident of some kind, hopefully. And anyway, sorry, let me carry on. Where are we? So yeah, no carbon monoxide leak or poisoning was detected. And the affiant spoke to Corporal Alexandra Hancock, who advised the parcel of land in residence belonged to the trustee of Edgar Goss. I don't know what that means. She obtained this information from a company identified as Onyx, which offered GPS mapping for hiking, hunting and off-roading events. So they found that the Santa Fe County Tax Parcel website revealed the property was owned by Edgar F. Gross. Who is Edgar F. Gross? So anyway, they said, sorry, a little bit up from that, they say, as of now, there are no signs of evidence indicating there were any problems associated to the pipes in or around the residence. And that's from the New Mexico Gas Company. So was it rented, this? It says the property was owned by Edgar F. Gross. I don't even know who he is. So the affiant is aware through training and experience individuals exposed to gas leaks or poisonous gas can suffer immediate and unexpected death. The affiant is aware through training and experience that individuals exposed to poisonous gas might not show apparent injuries. The search for and collection of items listed above to include biological material, trace evidence or latent fingerprints at the residence can assist with the determination and cause of death. There are no immediate signs or indications of blunt force trauma. However, the affiant is seeking to seize any blunt force objects in the event there is any indication of blunt force trauma once the Office of Medical Investigations arrives on scene and conducts their initial field investigation and possible cause of death. And at this time, the manner and cause of death pertaining to Eugene Jean Allen Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's passing is unknown. The affiant believes that the circumstances surrounding the death of the two deceased individuals is suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation, because the reporting party found the front door of the residence. Found the front door of the residence what? I think open, I think that's the end of the, let me just check, because let me just check. So it seems like the investigation maybe is it because the door was open? Well, be for various reasons. They can't find any gas leaks. They can't, so I'm going to say, sorry, bless me. Let me just see. I don't think there's another page to that, or maybe I'm missing a page. Oh, there is one more page. Hang on. Let's go on to the next page. Sorry, I missed a page there when I was downloading it. Let's see. There's a page 5. I think that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, the reason they think there's cause for investigation is because the door was open and they didn't observe. Oh, God. Oh, no. No, that is page 5. Found the front door of the residence, and that's as far as it goes, isn't it? Where's the rest of it? Sorry. There isn't another page, or I haven't got another page anyway, so... Yeah, there isn't a page 6, so... Anyway, I think we've got enough information there, haven't we, in that search warrant. So that's where we are. So that's how we got the search warrant. And I think there's a lot of information in that search warrant. And it does deserve a thorough investigation. Of course it does. Not that I think that there is any foul play necessarily. I think it probably is some sort of freak accident or something like that. As I say, things happen. And very sadly, unfortunately, I think the dog was probably in a crate, or maybe the dog that particular dog couldn't get out. And that's why the dog died. But it just seems likely that maybe Gene Hackman just had a sudden heart attack. And did something then happen to his wife when she tried to get maybe it was his. So, of course, we'll know a lot more when we find out what those tablets were. Were they his heart tablets? Was she running off into the bathroom to get his heart tablets, try and put one under his tongue, or try and do something? And did she then, in her hurry, slip, bang her head, trip over the flex, or then the heater maybe she slipped and then the heater fell on her? These I do think they seem to think the heater might be something to do with it, because I think it's just strange that they mentioned it, don't you? Why would you even mention? They didn't mention what was in the other rooms. Oh, there was a chair in that room, or there was a picture, or there was this. They've mentioned that heater maybe because they think that that's instrumental in whatever happened in this mysterious and very tragic probable accident, isn't it? It seems like maybe a health emergency for Gene, and then followed by an accident by his wife when she panicked, maybe. But we'll know more as soon as we get the results of the post-mortem, because until we get the results of the cause of death, that will be, as always, the crucial thing. I can't see that it was carbon monoxide poisoning. Personally, I could see that it looked like that in the first place, but I don't think the other 2 dogs would still be alive, because one of the dogs was found with her in the bathroom, and so it'd come into the house. Even if it was outside the house at the beginning, it'd come into the house at some point, or maybe it was always in the house. But why is that dog not deceased and the other one, 2 dogs alive? So to me, if it was a carbon monoxide event, it's more likely that everyone and every dog in that house would have died. But so yes, I'm off for lunch. I'm not sure where I'm going yet, but I'm going somewhere. I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know yet where yet, but I will report back. Let us know how your interviews went, Angel. Have you heard anything about the jobs that you've applied for? Did you have any luck? I hope so, because I know you don't like the job you've got at the moment. You've told us that. So I hope that you get some good news about that soon. Yeah, the daughter, there's something strange about the daughter, in the sense of they don't seem to be, have seen each other very often. But, it's possible. Anything's possible. But what we're waiting for now is the post-mortem. So we've read the search warrant. That's why the investigation's taking place, because of the circumstances are unclear. The circumstances of what happened, what the police literally said was they didn't say, is it funny? Because initially they said there was no reason to believe there was any suspicious circumstances. Then they changed the narrative, didn't they, slightly? So now what they're saying is it's suspicious enough to warrant a full investigation. Now that doesn't mean there's suspicious circumstances. They're not saying that, are they, in so many words? They're saying it's suspicious enough to warrant a full investigation. Now, if that was my dad, my mum, my family, my loved one, and even as an actor that I love, I want there to be a full investigation. Don't want this coming up, years down the line, all the conspiracy theories like come out about it. You want the truth, what happened, thorough, full investigation, find out exactly what happened to Gene Hackman. It seems a very sad way to end such a long life. But having said that, he still had that lovely long life. And a lot of people don't get that, and he's had a lovely life. He's done what he wanted in life. But to get to 95 and then end up like this, it's almost like a murder mystery, isn't it? It is a shame. But what's necessary is a full investigation. And I think that's what we're going to get. But of course, it never happens as quick as we want it. We want it to be like, you watch these things on the telly and it's like, before the hour-long episode's finished, you get all the answers. Or it might go on for a couple of episodes. But, it doesn't go on for long. But, in real life, of course, it's not like that. Investigations take a long time. There'll have been blood tests taken. There'll be all sorts of investigations going on, and we're not going to get an instant answer about what happened in this case. But okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for caring, of course, about Gene and his wife, his lovely wife. We'll find, and the dog, of course. The thing is, the poor dog, because the dog, anyway. Best not think about it. So I'm going to light a candle. I think I am anyway, if I can see where. Yeah, here it is. So let's light a candle. Hang on, I need some new candles again. I go through quite a lot of candles. Something else I wanted to tell you. I don't know if you've, of course, this Jeffrey Epstein list has been released, and I will be looking at that at some point. But you know what? To be honest, there's not an awful lot. There's nothing new in it, I don't think. And it's more, I think it's more relevant what's been deleted from it, from what they've released. So they've released all the FBI, have released all these papers about Jeffrey Epstein. But, it's all about, to me, what's more relevant is what's been deleted than what's in it. There's nothing new in it, nothing, I don't think, that we didn't know before. But there's been a lot of things deleted from it. Why release some? Either don't release it or release the whole thing. What's the point in releasing a redacted file like that? It tells us absolutely nothing. It's just a distraction. But anyway, so here we go. This is for Betsy and for Gene and for their families. And let's hope that the truth, we find out the truth. Hope there's no untoward circumstances, to be honest, because it would be awful, wouldn't it? But I personally don't think there are. I think this is going to turn out to be some kind of weird accident or coincidence. Maybe it was fate that they both went at the same time. I don't know. So we'll wait. As soon as I get the results of the post-mortem, as we get any more information, I will let you know. Thank you for watching. I want to say, hang on. Thank you to Angela for buying me a coffee. I want to put that up there, but I don't know what I've done with it. can't find it. Sorry. So thank you, Angela, who bought me a Ko-fi. Thank you to anybody who's ever bought me a Ko-fi. Thank you to all of you that support my channel. I've got the most amazing followers, amazing members, and thank you so much for all the support, and thank you for caring about Gene and his wife Betsy and the dog, which I don't know what the dog's name was. I wish I did know what it was. I would mention the dog as well. Right, just let me get down to the end. Oh. So thank you so much. I'll be back really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you and look after yourself. Bye.